You're not free. You're not. And if you think you're free, you're not free. uh, this is my conviction through my direct experience of being in relationship primarily with myself, and finding out that most of who and even what I believe that I am is a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of something much greater. So much of who and what I am lives as an unconscious collection of mechanisms and parts and archetypes and energies and aspects that are moving with so much momentum. And I'm riding on top thinking I know who and what I am. And when I say you are not free, I mean the you that is not who you are, the you that is not even what you are, but the you that is the presence of awareness listening to me here now. That isn't free. Not completely, not totally, not in every moment. And this isn't a message to have you get that there's something to fix and that it should be that way all the time, or that you can even get there. That's not my message. My message is an invitation to embrace that the freedom of you as that which is present right now will always be limited in some ways and to some degree. In fact, that limitation, that constraint is what brings the you we know as you into being. It is the constraint that gives the undifferentiated presence, energy, source that you are form and function as a human being, as a conscious entity, distinguished. So the game is not to unravel that so completely that there's nothing left, right? Like if you take every layer of the onion off, the onion is gone. And yet, the layers on the outside, they go crinkly, right? You're not going to eat those layers. They're dirty, they're crinkly. It's not the fresh onion. It's not the onion we want to bite into. And in that same way, those crusty layers, the outer layers are always the crusty ones. If you peel the outer layers of an onion and leave it, the new outer layers will grow crusty, I imagine. And so whatever that layer of your current outer layer is, whatever the mask you are wearing is, which you are wearing one because we can't be alive without, whichever mask it is, if it's not newly emerged because another layer has been removed recently, then it's grown crusty, and there's a more beautiful freedom that's possible on the other side of that. Starts with seeing it, recognizing it. And look, when I talk about being free, I'm not talking about you being free of some limitation so that you can just do something. I want to be free to ask for a lot of money, or I want to be free to tell that person I love them, or I want to be free to see myself in a certain way so that I could take the actions to do the thing. And that stuff's fun, it's cool. That's like creating in the material world, right? But the freedom that I'm most interested in for you, which is a projection of my own highest interest of freedom for myself. All creation is projection, by the way. I hope that I project and create more through love than fear, but it's all projection. So I want for you what I want for me, which is what I want for us, which is the freedom to be, I stopped on purpose, the freedom to be whatever we are, undiscovered, unknown, under that layer of what we are being right now. And the the not knowing of what we will be when we are free is something that, if embraced, gives you access to removing that mask. If you need to know who you'll be if you aren't being who you are, then that fear of not knowing who you'll be if you're not being who you are and you've made up yourself to be will stop you from taking the mask off. Will stop you from deciding, I'm going to not be that. So the true creation of who we are is not a discovery of the one static thing that we hold on to. It is an ongoing, continual process of a breaking through with fresh and new life. Like the bud of a tree on a branch breaks through, or the branch grows. There's always, at the tip, there's always new and fresh wood. In a bud, there's always new and fresh flower coming out, or there's something new being born in every moment. And so the freedom that I want for you is the freedom to be whatever that next reach of the branch is, whatever that next flowering of the bud is. And not knowing what that is in advance is not just okay, it's foundational to the true freedom. To live your life as an expression of wonder for that which unfolds through the you that you are. Imagine being a tree, being excited to find out which way its branches are going to grow, because it doesn't know. It's not a predetermined conscious choice that the branches grow this way. It's an unfolding. The tree is unfolding as it grows. And so can you be. So you can be as well. But this takes a commitment to freedom that's not mechanical. It's a freedom that is primarily, somebody asked me today, like, what do you mean when you help people be free? And what I mean is I help them to have a relationship with themselves on the inside where they are in constant state of practicing liberation, because it's not a place to get to, right? Liberation is not like an outcome that I seek. I don't want a person to come to me and me help them get free. And now you're free, now you're good. Pat them on the head and off they go. That's not the point. The point here in our world and that we are creating is to develop in a person the ability and the capacity to continuously self-liberate, to be able to be present with how they are relating to themselves inside the dance of dialogue between the parts of themselves inside, because that's where it all gets tangled up. That's where the masks are created and held in place. To be able to see how you do that and to walk backwards from that, to let that go, to let it fall away, to have a fresh skin of onion on the outside of your being, to have people walk by you and smell the onion. That's a really bad metaphor, but to be, when you have fresh onion skin on the outside, I got to find a better metaphor. When you have fresh onion on the outside, you move people. You're impacting the world because people can smell real freedom. They can smell it. They can feel it. And why do I want that for you? Because when you are free like that and you are bleeding into other people with your freedom, you are setting them free. You're creating possibility for them. And freedom bleeds through our population. The more freedom there is, the more freedom there is. The more free we become, the more freedom we create. And why freedom? Well, my experience, my reality is that when there's freedom, love happens. Love is the most beautiful expression of the unfolding of all creation, happens. And it takes form through the unique version of you or whoever else you meet. And when there's more love coursing through people, more love happening and bouncing off each other and interoculating and creating together, then the love creates beauty, and there's more beauty. And that's not like, oh, we got to do that because somebody's got to do it. No, everything is doing that all the time except when we don't let it. And so this is really about just like my purpose is to help people be free to love so that things can just move smoothly. And that same feeling where you see something getting stuck in a stream or whatever, and you just want to move it and allow the flow to go through, like the same way when you go to the beach and you dig a hole or you build a sandcastle and the waves return and they just smooth everything back out again. Like nature is trying to make everything beautiful and work together and in balance. And that's all I'm trying to do. every day with my own being inside and with everybody that I meet. So that's what this is about when I talk about freedom, right? It's not low-grade freedom. It's not freedom of a limiting idea so I can do the thing and get what I want. I mean, it's like personal development 101. You've probably already done that, seen that story. I'm talking about an existential freedom, and not getting there, but developing the capacity to continuously identify where you're not free, because you will always be not free. There'll always be another layer. Meet that with equanimity, with loving kindness, with joy, with excitement, and to liberate yourself from it so that you can have a new layer and be expressing that until it gets crusty, and then repeat cycle. So join me in Creator's Journey for a year, while in conversation every single week, we create freedom so that love happens, so that a bigger difference is made in less time, and there's more beauty and there's more truth, and you get more of what you want and you make a more beautiful world. I love you. Thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon.